rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena on. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one chief rock in Knicks universe, your main man, Uncle Freezie. Welcome to the Knicks of Night podcast. Bam, the Knicks done won 9 in a row. The Knicks done won 9 in a row. Let me bring the fellas in real quick. Let me bring the people in real quick. Let me bring my people in. Lee, what's good, boss? Oh, wait a minute. We got oh, I ain't see. Hold on.
Oh.
Hey, Dre, hold on for a split second.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out. Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you.
All right, hold on. All right, there we go. The gang's all here.
Hey,
What's
man.
good, party
Sir,
people? I know
What's
y'all
up?
super excited about this dub tonight. I know
Free,
y'all excited.
Freezy.
Chat,
What's good, boss?
hey,
Freezy.
man, listen. I
what's
know
good,
y'all. I
Freezy?
know the chat is excited and hyped up, bro. I can't wait to get to this segment.
Hey,
What I want to do, I'm just opening up the floor and I'm gonna just let y'all rock.
hey, Freezy, I have one thing to say. Emmanuel quickly.
Bim, bim.
No joke.
He said
Freezy,
he's the man tonight.
Freezy, I'm so hyped. I could go outside and do 100 pull-ups and a crosswalk sign right now.
Bim,
That's what's up.
right now.
And in the mortal words of my first platoon sergeant, JT Jones, shout out to Delaware. Victory.
Victory.
Bim. Yo, I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. Tonight felt like a coronation of some sort. Tonight felt like a welcoming party of some sort. Tonight felt like the place where you strive to be for a long time and you finally get there and it's exactly what you dreamt it to be.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Bim,
Actually, beyond my dream, actually, to
bim.
not have a
Hey,
point guard, our
it's,
backup, something like
it's
that.
remember remember Freezy, I said to you in private, I said like all the things that might make IQ win this six man of the year. You look
Right.
up right now, he's leading odds in six man of the year right now.
Get out of here
Vegas.
after
Like
one
right now.
game.
Right. I told you, Vegas works fast, man.
Yeah, bro, that is crazy. Ron, still Knicks fans in the building. What's good, Ron? That's my guy right there, man. Shout out to Ron, still Knicks fans, man, doing his thing, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Shout out, man. It's a lot of stuff that we can get into tonight, man. What I wanted to do though, before we get into stuff, is let y'all have y'all say. And all I'm gonna ask respectfully, if somebody is rocking, just let them rock, man. Let them have their moment. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, man. Tonight is it's like a celebration a little bit, but at the same time, it's an acceptance, right? And so to the chat, the hip hop legend called Mega, Illmatics, Ron, still Knicks fans, Bully, Alawaz, bro. All this struggle that we've been through for the 2 years and 4 months that I've been doing this, bro. Tonight feels special, man. Tonight feels special, man. For the first time in a long time, I feel like we somebody.
Freezy, not to cut you off, but this reminds me of that OKC game that we won when we won 13 in a row or something like that.
Okay.
When we went to OKC and beat KD and Russ while they were
Yeah.
hot. Remember that? And JR went off that game.
Right.
Also, Melo went off. It feels exactly like that. I don't know if everybody remembers how that
Lee, you
feels
got
like.
headphones on?
Oh, I'll put some on real quick.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yo, all right. I'm gonna put Lee. I'm gonna have Lee right there so we won't have no background thing while he worked that out. But it feels like that, bro. Dre, it feel like that?
Yeah, it feels exactly like that.
Wow.
Wow.
You remember the feeling after we won that game? I think
I
it was
remember that.
like
I remember the game. I remember the feeling. Yeah.
Oh, Dre, I gotta counter that a little bit, man. It feels better than that to me right now.
Right.
The future is bright
Right. Right.
right now. Bright. Then I had hope. Now I have knowledge. To use someone's nickname that Freezer gave me, I think we got wisdom where we know who we are and we're just about to let people know who we are. We're letting the world know who we are. This right here feels like I said, a coronation, a graduation, a supplementation. I mean, we are surpassing expectations.
New York, we here.
We,
Yeah, man.
we're not even firing all cylinders yet. We're not firing on all cylinders yet. That's
Right.
the part that I still see where I'm like, are we able to take another step this year, this month? I see it.
Right.
It's clear. Oh my goodness. Tonight was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. On
Yeah,
an
man.
ESPN game. And Keith Turner says, I told people IQ is untouchable. Don't even call me about an IQ trade. I'm hanging up the phone. That's
Hey,
what Keith
Freezy.
Turner said. Shout out to Keith
Oh,
Turner.
my fault.
Go
Hey,
ahead, boss.
Freezy, you remember the talks of these deals where they were like, we might have to give up IQ, Mitch, RJ, and 3 picks.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Not to
I'm good
harp
on
on
that.
not to harp on the Donovan Mitchell thing, but if we were to have hypothetically given that up and Brunson was out one game, we would not win this game off the strength of just Donovan Mitchell existing.
Wow. Wow.
You don't get
You
you know
know,
you can't make up that gap, that rim protection that Mitch had, even though he had some defensive breakdowns on the closeouts. You
Yeah.
can't make up the playmaking that IQ had, and RJ still put up 30 on solid efficiency tonight.
Yep.
And he came out the
Yep.
gate ready. He set the tone in the first quarter.
Yep.
Well, IQ
Yep.
set it immediately with that three when the game first
Yep.
started 30 feet away. That set
Yep.
the tone that we were not going to be rolled over at all.
Right. Right. Oh, and yo, just real quick. I have a question for Boston Celtics fans. Is this your king? Is this your king? That's my question for Celtics fans.
Oh,
Is this your king?
wow.
Red Auerbach's rolling over in his grave right now.
Bro, all I'm gonna say is, and I spoke, and I don't know if y'all watched old school Knicks. We did old school Knicks about somebody eating.
Oh,
Somebody
my
eating in that
bad.
microphone.
That was me. Can you hear that? My bad.
Yes.
Let me mute. Let me mute. I didn't know you could hear that. I thought I muted myself. My
Yeah.
apologies.
yeah,
No.
you can hear
No.
everything with you can hear everything if the mic is not mute.
Yeah. Yeah. But about and so I'm not gonna call out my man. You know what I'm saying? My man's Anthony D. Still the real Anthony D. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. But no doubt about 14 or so hours ago, I looked that man in his eyes and said, I'm not scared of Boston. I'm not scared of Milwaukee. And I don't fear Philadelphia because those teams had been beating us with peripheral stuff. And I gave an example of Brook Lopez hitting corner threes over Mitch and Drew Holiday hitting 3-pointers over Quentin Grimes, and Giannis got the credit for winning. And tonight, Boston tried to pull out a win. Their last second shot went to Al Horford in the corner for 3 over Mitch. And when it fell short, so did their hopes on beating the Knicks. What I'm saying to y'all is I feel confident that this team can beat teams with 1 stars or 2 stars. You got you a superstar, we can beat you. You got 2 superstars, we can beat you because our tertiary pieces are better than yours. And that's how we keep pace. Through teamwork, through everybody rowing in the right direction. Our starting point guard was out today, and their starting center was out. And they did a better job rebounding without him there than they did in the previous matchups with him there. So they don't have any excuse. They have no excuses to not beat the Knicks on their home floor fully healthy for the most part. But we came in with our best or maybe second best player out. And our tertiary pieces, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, man, we played together as a team and we beat that team, not in Madison Square Garden, but in Boston Garden, not 1:00 in the afternoon on SNY, but in a primetime game on ESPN. So if you're a Boston fan and you're watching this right now, I have one question for you. Is this your king? Now take that. Take that.
Yeah, and I'm proud to say the Knicks beat the Celtics not once, but twice in their home floor in the same season.
And the third time, that Saturday night, I don't know if y'all remember the Saturday night where they set a NBA record for threes. If they wouldn't have set an NBA record for threes that night on us, we'd have wiped the floor with them. It took a Herculean, it took a Powerball type of effort from them to beat us. But when both teams are playing their normal basketball, we win. All I'm saying is to Knicks fans, let's go Knicks. And it's okay to be excited, right? I'm excited, man. I'm excited,
Yeah,
man. Lee, you excited?
What? I'm beyond excited. I'm so excited, man. You just do. You see what happened earlier. The first thing I did was text Jew like, look at this, still streaking. I remember what was this? We were on a 9-game winning streak. I said about 7 games ago, I said we're gonna go on a run. We're gonna go on a run, and I still keep quoting. We're still gonna go on a run. We got Charlotte next. We're gonna punch them in the mouth, put them to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna go on this road, and then that's where I'm gonna see what we really made of. Because when we go out west, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody expected us to start losing 5 games. Yo, this 50-game winning season is very quite possible if we keep doing what we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? And this goes to show you that this is a total team win. A total team win. Everybody stepped up. You know what I'm saying? We can't sit here and nitpick on too many things about anybody. You know what I'm saying? The expected players played. You know, everybody else did their thing, played their roles.
Right.
Played their roles, man. And God bless Emmanuel Quickley, because he really was the one who took us through that last overtime and carried us. Shout out to him, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, not to say if we didn't have Brunson, what would we do? But just look how he did it without Brunson. And that just goes to show you that if we had to rest that man, we could rest that man and still be comfortable enough to be out here to say we can win a game. So, you know, for all you naysayers, nitpickers, you know what I'm saying, who don't support the whole, you know, support individuals and don't support that whole team, please stop, because we are the Knicks.
You know, I want to say I am so glad that somebody in the Knicks got what's his name? The point guard of the Celtics.
Oh, Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart fouled out because he was doing so much flopping in that game. I was so annoyed.
All their tricks. All
Jeez.
their tricks. The Celtics,
You know,
the Celtics are a good team, man. Adam, I ain't gonna lie to you.
They
The
are.
Celtics are a good team. They hit some shots tonight that would have put lesser teams away. Right. But basically what I saw tonight is that the Knicks have a championship chin. Like we not get ready to you're not get ready to hit us with your best shot and we just gonna fall over and be same old Knicks.
Oh boy. Say it again, Freezy, for the people in the back of here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, Dre, in terms of basketball, what did you see that was different tonight than what you expected?
Well, I mean, we kind of. I'm not gonna hold. Well, the result was kind of strange. We didn't really dominate on the offensive glass as we normally do, but I feel like that has to do with Brunson not existing because a lot of our isolation. If he misses, it's because he's sucking in the defense to the point where it leaves Mitch and our other bigs chances to gobble up rebounds. We never really isolated as much towards going towards the paint when Brunson's not out there. But
Right.
from a basketball standpoint, there's a lot to love from this game. I do wish we defensive rebounded a lot better, but a lot of those long rebounds just kept finding their way out to the Celtics. And we overcome a lot because we also battled a lot of the refs. Like Marcus Smart was toying around too much. Like it was gamesmanship, I guess, but at some point it's not even basketball what you doing, bro. Like you're literally sticking your head in and baiting a call because you want to get hit. I don't that's not who plays defense with their face is what I want to know. But
Marcus Smart, but
exactly
that's about it. That's about it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. There were some things that I saw tonight that were concerning me where I thought that we were gonna snatch I thought we were gonna snatch a loss from the jaws of victory, right? When Randall went and bumped the referee, trying to show him what the guy did, I thought Randall was gone, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, but that was cool. That was cool of the ref. That was cool of the ref because the ref was slick listening to his argument. But the fact that he bumped him, that's why he got teased. If he would have never bumped him,
no matter what, you can't touch a referee. Period.
Yeah, I get you that. But the ref said him.
You're not allowed to touch the official.
Yeah.
But Randall was trying to explain to the referee, what do you expect me to do? Marcus Smart is all on top of me.
Right, but the point that I'm getting at is this. My feeling was when I saw Randall bump that ref, I thought he was gone.
Oh yeah.
Prior years, even if he's not gone, he would have checked out of the game. Like his play would have fallen off of a cliff because of that.
Mentally checked out. Yeah.
Like even if he was still in the game, he would have like, you know the thing that Melo used to do when he gets frustrated, he would just like go for overt fouls, or like he would hack someone.
Yeah.
And Randall has a thing of trying to like, if he's not getting a call, he'll just be even more aggressive on offense and try to barrel roll through people instead of just playing his game. And then part of that is his game, barrel rolling through people, but the obvious like forcing the action, he would go through that. But he kind of regained his balance. And you could see as it happened, as he got the technical, he put his hand down, like, I'm calm, don't worry about it. I'm good. In other situations, he would have just been pouting, like walking around in circles or having a coach up to him, trying to tell him to calm down. He's found like a balance for what it is. And he kind of maybe overreacted in a time, but he bounced back and he relaxed and got himself focused back on the game.
Right.
And the thing that was frustrating for them is that they couldn't shake us at all. They got a little bit of a lead. We punched them right back, took the lead. They came back and they couldn't put us away. They had multiple opportunities to take the lead and they couldn't. And we snatched the victory back. So
just real quick, I just want to point out one other thing, just real quick. when Grimes fouled Jaylen Brown late in the game for Brown to hit that free throw to send it into overtime, I thought that was not a foul. I thought that was a clear. Jaylen Brown did the move that Randall did, putting his
I agree.
into Grimes. Remember just think about that. 3 trips before that, they called that foul on Randall, and then Brown went down and did the same thing, the nudge, and he chicken wing Grimes underneath the rim, and Grimes came back up with his hands up, right? If they were going to call a foul, they should have called the foul on the floor because Grimes raked at his hands and hit his hands before that, but then Brown nudged him away, and then Grimes came back up and got vertical, and that's what they called the foul on. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? You don't call a game-defining call right there for the Celtics. Even if you're going to be unfair, you have to be unfair to a point. You don't determine the outcome, and I felt like the referees determined the outcome by giving Jaylen Brown an and one right there.
And I feel like it's one of those things where it may not be right, but he got his hand caught in the cookie jar, and Jalen just like yanked it just to exacerbate the contact. Because I think Grimes got his hand in there clean initially, but he locked his hand. It's the James Harden thing, where James Harden sees your hand in there, he'll lock in, and then he'll turn to make it look worse than what it is. And I mean that's an art in drawing fouls. Like he fumbled himself. Like he screwed up.
But Dre, that was early on. Now remember, after that, my man put his shoulder in the Grimes and bumped him away. And when Grimes came back and got vertical is when they called a foul. They didn't call it on the part that you were talking about. When you go back,
when I was watching the replay, I thought it was because they cut. I thought they called it because his hand was in the cookie jar. That's what I saw. Like his hand was in there, and then he yanked.
I saw that man's hand straight up over his head, like he was being robbed.
Yeah, but
are you talking about the and one, like to tie the game and send it to OT?
Yeah, not the and one to the free throw to tie it. Of course, is when I'm
Okay.
Yeah. Grimes had his hands over his head like it was a stick up. Because when I saw it, I was like, how you gonna call a foul right there when that man legit bent over at the waist and moved forward and pushed Grimes away, and Grimes came back up with his hands over his head, and they called the foul.
Exactly.
And so when I saw it, I was like, you know what, bro, you can't. Even though Grimes is a young player, you can't. Grimes did everything right by the letter of the law when he came back. Now, if they call foul before that happened, I would have been like, okay, Grimes, he's guilty as charged. But they didn't call it, let him play. Grimes came back with his hands up. And
was that before or after Grimes had the hell ball with him?
That was I can't remember. I can't remember that one exactly. I know it happened. I remember it happening.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't remember when it happened.
Yeah, I want to say two things. Because I know Wiz want to speak on something. First, I'm glad the officials did not call a flagrant foul on Randall when his leg hit Marcus Smart in the hip area.
Right.
And second, if you watch how Boston play on offense, they do things on the floor that make the referees call fouls on the Knicks. Especially Marcus Smart, man. He's been doing flop here and there is unreal. Calls that shouldn't be called on the Knicks.
He was auditioning for an Oscar. This morning, old school Knicks, the theme was "Does it feel like 2019 all over again?" Right, deja vu.
Yeah, AD wanted to know if it felt like 2021 all over again, and I said it feels like 1999 all over again.
And I posted it felt like 1973 all over again.
1973 all over.
And
Wow.
the reason why I go back that far is because our strongest player was what? The point guard. Our two, whether he's off the bench or not next strongest player. Would you agree to that, Clyde and Earl the Pearl? I mean, Willis was bad, boy. The Bush
Willis,
was,
Willis was good. Remember, Willis Reed was the league MVP like the year before that.
Right, but was he? But because of, I guess, I was looking because of his injury and because he felt like he wasn't as impactful in the game as Clyde and
Or
Pearl
2
were.
years before that. 2 years before that.
Yeah, two years before that, 71, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Willis almost like I'm looking at Randall. I'm looking at Brunson like I looked at Clyde.
Easy,
right
big
now,
fella. Easy,
I'm not
easy.
saying I'm not going to run off the bridge right now. I'm looking at that kind of like impact of the team, the dynamics of the team, how they impact the team. Not that they're at that level, that the way this team is functioning is like the way Clyde controlled the stuff, and Willis was the man doing what needed to be done with Clyde facilitating. And then you had a tertiary player. In this case, this guy's coming off our bench named Emmanuel Quickly, where this other cat was one of the highest, high scorer comes into our, and he took a step back and go, "It's your game, Clyde, but I'm here when you need me." Earl the Pearl was right there. That's what I'm looking at quickly. That's what I'm talking about, that dynamic. Not that they would match up to those guys. Yeah, they got years before they get to that level of saying.
Yeah, you're talking about impact. Right.
Exactly, the impact. Right. And so that's why I'm saying 73, like, and when you look at it, I'm trying to rank Clyde and Willis as over the league at that time. Because there's some bad boys playing right then.
Right.
I mean, Mr. Jabbar was playing back then.
Right.
I mean, Mr. Chamberlain was playing back then, wasn't he?
Yep.
Before Dr. J emerged, before the ABA came aboard.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could go down a list of players at Boston and LA and Milwaukee and going, oh, where do we rank? And you start to look at where do we rank? And right now, this team is not saying we're the best players in the league on this team, but the depth of our players, as far as the excellence all the way through 1 through 8, maybe even 9, is at a level where 1-to-1 comparison, you got your KD, you got your CP3. I mean, you got that level, and then they drop off so fast. With us, we're like a very steady graduate, this gradient that slightly decreases, and skill level still quite high. With Phoenix, it's like superstars, then bands, role players. We're like stars, borderline superstar, like you call it. You already call it a superstar. I know, Brunson. We're gonna just leave you at star right now, but borderline superstar, star Randall, and then trying to jump to that next level to stardom. I'm looking at IQ. I'm looking at, if he wasn't 6th man of the year next year, I'm looking at Josh Hart, 6th man of the year competitor. And if RJ wakes up, oh, baby. If Grimes starts dropping at 3, oh, I'm just saying that this is how this team feels. It feels better than Detroit Pistons did, that didn't have this high level of quality players all the way through and still won a chip. And so we've been talking about we need a superstar to win a chip. Should we argue Brunson is a superstar? But I can say this team, sum of the parts, exceeds the whole.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
Okay. Just real quick, y'all. Let me read these 2 super chats just real quick. So Justin DW, thank you for the generous contribution Hey, Justin asks, do you feel this team can go to the finals? Maybe.
No.
Let give us some time to think about that for a second, JD, and then we'll get back to it. We'll ask everybody for the answer. And Paris Duggar says, thank you for the generous contribution, Paris Duggar. He says, rest JB, like I said, and go show the world who we are now. Okay.
Dope. That was a dope take. I like that.
That was dope. That was dope, guys.
All right, Paris Duggar, I got you. I got you. Let me go around the room and ask the question. And let me preface it. Well, no, you know what? I ain't gonna preface it. I'm just y'all go for what you know. I'm gonna start with Dre. Dre,
it's a soft landing. I'm gonna give you a soft landing. I'm gonna give you a soft landing over it because I'm gonna have to see what they look like in the first.
Can make the NBA finals.
I'm gonna have to see what the team looks like after the first game. Literally the first half of the first game. That's how I'll make my determination of the first playoff game.
Okay.
That's how I make my determination because some teams, not everything can transfer over to the playoff from the regular season to the playoffs. There are some things that are undoubtedly will transfer over, but you also need to see if pressure busts pipes and pressure makes diamonds, and you can't really make that assertion until you see it. You know, like until you actually see it on the court. Because when we last went to the playoffs, albeit it was a worse team, the players that were available on the team right now that played back then didn't play very well in the playoffs.
Okay.
So I want, and the guy that we do have here that has playoff experience is Brunson. So I'll say if he can lead us, sure. But I can't make that. It's hard for me to make that jump just yet. I just want to enjoy this. Am I tripping?
Okay.
Am I tripping?
Nah. Wiz, what you thinking? Do you think this team can make the NBA finals?
I mean, yes. On the side of caution, right? That's a great take. I understand that. However, just looking at and just especially looking at the past year and a half of how these players have been reacting when they get time and when they actually get some pressure on them. I know the playoffs is a different animal, but it's the way they play. They're not playing with skill sets that fade on the pressure so much. Defensive tactics, yes, there are a few areas but I think it's less than 20% of the areas where you go under pressure. That's going to be something that's going to cause you to freeze up. 3-point shooting is one of those things. You know, your outside shooting is one of those things.
Oh, you about to start Randall? You about to start your Randall shooting the three thing?
No. I'm saying that under pressure.
All I'm saying is
can be affected. I'm saying that can be affected under pressure.
Here you go.
The team can adjust. And let's put Randall as the perfect person. He's actually the perfect scenario. Randall's adjustment and quickly adjust to go into his strength when that particular area of his game is not on, whether it's because they decide to game plan better because that's the one thing they got to focus on with a better team focusing on them. They got time to plan it over 7-game series. Within 2 games, they're going to start saying, how do we adjust for that? And how does he adjust? And can he adjust? I'm seeing him adjusting to scenarios where it's either not falling or they're doubling him or the other teammates are balling. He's got to feed him. And I'm seeing him make those adjustments. I almost can watch his brain working. I mean, when he goes, okay, IQ gets the ball. You know, Brunson, it's your ball. I can almost see his brain working like that. So to me, the answer is yes. Yes, I can see them making a final.
All right. And so what you thinking, Lee?
I'm thinking, God knows if we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you know I'm gonna jump out the window and say, yeah, we're going to the finals. If we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm gonna jump out the window and say, yes, we're gonna go. You know,
Okay.
but after the day today, just seals some things in my mind as I look at this team play, and just how they play, and they play with each other, and how they care for each other. You know what I'm saying? And want to help each other want to win. You know, come on, man. Why not?
Okay. All right. Adam, what you thinking?
My answer for the Knicks, if you think the Knicks gonna make it to the finals, is no, because this roster does not have enough NBA championship skills players, except Brunson. All the other guys in this roster don't have championship basketball skills. I like that we're all coming together as a team, as one team unit. But this team is not a championship team yet, and I feel that make it to the finals, not yet. The Knicks still need some pieces, some championship players that's been to the finals on this roster.
Is the question though? Will they make it or can they make it?
No, it's not. Will they make it?
No, I don't. No, I
Can
don't
they
think they
make
It's
can make it at
can they
all.
make it?
I don't even
Can
see
they?
the Knicks. I don't even see the Knicks getting past the first round.
Okay.
Whoa.
And it all
Okay.
depends who they play, but I don't think they can get past the first round. I don't think they're good enough.
Wow.
All right.
I don't think they're
So
good enough to make it to the second round.
all right. So I'll give my answer. I sat patiently while y'all, you know what I'm saying, I was listening to y'all, man. I like y'all takes and stuff. My thing is this. My answer is this. Not only can the Knicks make it to the NBA finals, I believe we can win it.
Big.
My man.
And so
My man.
and so here's the thing. Dre, you know how we always say, is there some type of, did it ever happen before? Is there a precedent? Right? You know how like we always talk about, oh yeah, man, I like Anthony Edwards. He reminds me of Mitch Richmond. Or yeah, man, I love Kobe Bryant, man. He reminds me of Michael Jordan. Or yeah, man, I love that such and such team. It reminds me of such and such team from back in the day. My answer to the question, Justin DW, is yes, I think we can make the finals, and yes, I think we can win. And here's the reason why I think we can get there. Because a couple of years ago, I watched a brand new point guard come to a team that was a fringe playoff team that could beat certain teams, but they couldn't get over the hump. That team added a point guard, and all of a sudden, it pushed them, it catapulted them to a place. Now, when he first got there, nobody thought they was going to make the NBA Finals. They were just thinking like, oh, okay, with Chris Paul on the Suns, maybe Chris Paul and Devin Booker maybe they can beat Utah, maybe they can't. But the Suns, like for instance, who on this panel remembers who the point guard was of the Phoenix Suns before Chris Paul? See how that's a hard question, right? What I'm saying to you is this. Who can remember? Yo, it's all kind of answers in
I
the
was
chat.
away. I was away. I was gonna say Ricky Rubio was, but
Ricky Rubio. But my point is, a team was all ready to take off and ascend. They had Booker, they had Cam Johnson, they had Mikal Bridges, they had DeAndre Ayton. But honestly, that ain't nothing. They got a point guard, and all of a sudden, they skyrocketed, right? So what I'm saying is, while the likelihood of it happening, we don't know. All we know is right now in this moment that the Knicks are beating all comers. They beat a team that was, for the most part, the number one seed in the East twice in a calendar week, right?
And all year long, we were scared to play them.
Right? And now what I'm saying is, if I think there is a pathway where Jalen Brunson gives the Knicks that Chris Paul type jolt that he gave the Suns, except we're doing it in the East. And just like that, just like out west, when Chris Paul went to the Suns, people was like, "Oh, it'll never work, man. You got too many good teams in front of him, man. It's, the Lakers just won the championship. There are too many good teams out here. It's the hill is too hard to climb." But they climbed the hell out of that mountain, and they got to the finals, right? So what I'm saying is this team, with the addition of Jalen Brunson, gives me vibes that it can happen. But I think the young players on this team are taking steps that go unnoticed, where they're contributing in a way where if this thing clicks for Brunson and the young players, I think the sky's the limit. I think the sky's the limit. But the thing about it is it likely? We don't know. Can it happen?
Most definitely.
Is possible. Anything is possible is what I'm going to say. Anybody in the chat doubt Brunson take this team to the next level? And anybody in this chat doubt that these kids are playing their hearts out under Tibbs? Did RJ Barrett not show you an improved RJ tonight?
Thank you.
Did Emmanuel Quickly did Emmanuel Quickly not show you an improved Emmanuel Quickly tonight? That's what I'm asking.
Preach.
So Soul Fingers in the building.
My God.
Wiz, what are you thinking, Wiz?
That was a great take, man. That was a great take. I'm trying to see some parallels. Again, I study history. Obviously, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it, as they say, right? Right. And historically, watching what one player can do to a team, the right player can do to a team, has been impactful in almost every scenario. Looking back over, then when you add two players that can impact the team significantly, we're talking about transformative changes. And then how they can raise the previous players' levels, making the team better. So I'm talking about Brunson and Josh Hart.
Okay.
That both stepped in here. We didn't just have Brunson that stepped in like Chris Paul. Josh Hart stepped in, whose synergy with Brunson is unexplainable. I mean, those two are brothers from different mothers. Those two just have that some connection between them, and they were embraced. The kind of embrace where it's your long lost family. I'm not trying to get too sentimental, but a good friend of mine made a journey back to a homeland, and he has a video of how he was greeted as if he was a long lost son coming back. And he goes, "But I have no idea if I'm related to you. The first time, obviously my family was brought, to the U.S., 300 plus years ago, but they were like, you are family." And not one person didn't want to share some food with him and share their space with him. And I'm like, this team embraced Brunson with no egos going, "Oh man, he's coming to take over." There's so many reasons why they could have done that. Just looking at look at his dad being hired alone is the reason where you have a little step back and go, oh, all these guys are gonna come to stick over, space here. IQ was essentially destined to be the solid point guard, and then he was destined to be the number one man on the second team. And even when Josh came aboard and did what he did the first game, just watch the interview he did with Josh Hart the other day. It's like, oh, I'm so glad you are here. Even the 8 minutes, even though the first 2 minutes saw my boy Deuce get in the game, no thoughts, no even hesitation. The way Fournier and D-Rose are reacting about saying we're not getting our playing time, those factors are making this team chemistry. This is the kind of chemistry where you're joining together two atoms and meshing them together. That's all going to be literally what the sun is being done every single day in the sun about 700 million times a second, where that atomic explosion is creating a burst of stardom based on just two little molecules joining together. And that's what Josh Hart and Brunson are. Those two atomic molecules joining together and colliding to create this explosion of power. And I'm actually, again, I tell you, I would be so worried right now if I was anybody else. Because if everyone keeps on doing what they're doing to step up, don't let Grimes start going off. Don't let RJ get more efficient and start locking on defense. Don't let Fournier walk in for one play or two just to knock down a three-pointer and be like, what, the drive's over. That little run you had, click, it's over. Don't let D Rose come in and just say, I'm not going to be able to put up 30 points. I'm not going to come in and drive by everybody and do a 360 slam dunk. But when I walk onto that court, I'm walking and say, what can I do to help? How can I help? Man, I'm joyfully scared of this team and what they can become. Without any one of those guys attaining super stardom, it's like everyone carrying along their weight and they join together. We're united, they're stronger. Not one person is pulling away by themselves.
All right, Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says RJ deserves a super chat from this hater.
So he acknowledges that he's a hater.
Yeah. Yo, that is hilarious. Hold on. Finger.
What's going down? What's cracking? What's cracking?
Salute.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
I just got one word. I just got one thing. Got one question. I'm gonna use that question that Jerry like to ask. How about them Knicks?
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Hey, Freezie. Even if we don't get the ultimate desired ending to the season, I'm willing to let this slow cook. I'm willing to let this marinate.
This moment, right?
Grow. This moment and the team, the players on the team, the roster, Grimes, he wasn't great tonight. He can grow. IQ, you're seeing his growth. RJ, you're seeing his growth, albeit not being the big jump that we want it to be. So I'm willing to wait and let it cook, let the chemistry build.
Let me do something real quick before you finish. Okay. Not to cut you. I just want to do this real quick. The stuff with Grimes, bro. I think as a fan base, we have to understand what he is.
Right.
We gotta start him and we gotta play him in order for him to be better than Marcus Smart in 2 years. We got to play him every day and grow through stuff. Because Marcus Smart did the same thing. Marcus Smart did the same thing with the Celtics. When he was coming off the bench, he was a weird backcourt with Terry Rozier. He was all this stuff, and you had no idea what Marcus Smart was. We just knew he was good defensively, right? The thing with Grimes, I'm just gonna. I, so I have a complicated relationship with Grimes because I think he's gonna be something great in 2 years. But in the short term, I feel like I gotta kind of take the arrows for him. And I know I called him a ham sandwich and all that stuff. And I'm not knocking your point, Dre. I'm just saying this is with some perspective. From me, right? Is I don't expect Grimes to be the fourth or fifth best player on this team. Right? Right now, he's probably the sixth or seventh best player on this team, if we being honest, right? Because he's not better than Hart and he's not better than Quickly, right? But at the same time, I think if we just take the approach that, you know what I'm saying, he just needs time to develop into what he's going to be down the road, he's going to be fantastic down the road. But we have to kind of do this Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Smart type of let him grow through this stuff in order for him to be great at the other end. I just wanted to say that, Dre. I ain't trying to knock your point, bro. I'm just saying.
But I'm agreeing with you. I think
Yeah.
we said the same thing in a different way because I said like to let it cook, let it simmer, let it marinate,
Right.
and that's part of development. You have to let him. You have to. What I'm saying, like playing Grimes, whatever amount of minutes that he does get, 25, 26, 27, that's part of the cooking process. You don't microwave guys like him.
Right. Yeah. Just let him. Yeah, because we don't want him to turn into Landry Shamet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A dude come in the league with oozing with potential, and then everybody that get their hands on him trying to microwave the process, and the next thing you know, he a journeyman. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean. Let it cook, because like unless there's a major upgrade on the horizon that I can see this team making, I think we should just let this unit cook out for maybe another season.
Okay.
And just build the chemistry and see how far we can go. Because I feel like the chemistry has just arrived and we're peaking this season, but I feel like there's another floor we can get to. And we have another year of development, a fourth year of IQ, a third year of Grimes, RJ establishing himself in his fifth year, prime Randall, prime Brunson.
Right.
Like we're peaking right now, but I think over the summer
You
with
think we're
another
peaking
training
right now?
camp. No. I mean, we're peaking for this collection of teams. Not. I want when people say peaking, it's almost taken in a negative way, like it's premature. I'm saying we're ascending to our near highest level of play because we've been shooting 50% from the field and 40% from three with really good defense the last 10 games. I don't know how much better you can get from that for this team this year right now. But I feel like another year of training camp, another year of chemistry of the guys knowing each other, we could be a team next year that wins 55, 56, 57 games instead of having to win 11 in a row, right, or 9 in a row just to edge or be real close to 50.
Right.
I feel like this team, once we figure it out, we'll be in a better space next year. Like
Right.
I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for the assets that we do have and the players that we do have. I don't want to microwave the process.
Right. What you got, Soulfinger?
Well, you know me. I said treat it like a crock pot. You know the whole thing. However, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna put it out like this right here. This is a special season as it's starting to come out. I'm no way jumping off a bridge, jumping out of an airplane with no parachute. But I will say this here: teams are shook right now. The NBA, that win, because you got to look at the win as a whole. We won without one of our big guns. A lot of the young cats that you said they don't ever get playing time got time to get active. IQ had a coming out party. You can look at where he started. He had a coming out party. A lot of us knew what he can do, but now he did it on the national set. So, with that being said, we are. I would say we're a little bit. We could actually be a little bit ahead of where we could be going with some of the young guys starting to pop. But the thing is you can't say starting to pop young guys because I'm done with all that young guys because the team is young. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we got a bunch of old cats on the team, like well over 30. Derrick Rose is the granddad on the team.
Right.
So that's what it is. We're right where we're moving along real well. And again, I wasn't a Tibbs supporter with starting a rebuilding team and having him as the coach.
Okay.
But you have to have veterans. But considering that this team is young, but you have young veterans,
right.
Tibbs is the right coach for this squad.
Okay.
Crucify me, whatever. I said it with my chest, shirt open, taco meat exposed. Tibbs is the right cat for this. And I haven't been a Tibbs supporter, but I got to give it to him because you seeing the development, how cats are coming along. Look at IQ. Look what he's done with IQ. And then Josh Hart is the icing on the cake. Or the cherry on top, whichever way you want to put it.
Right.
That's more of that mentality, and that's the player that he wanted. So we got to give Tibbs his due, give his props, because now he has the players he wanted to play the kind of style, and he's developed those young the kids, the babies, whatever you want to call them, these young players into the players that he wanted for his system.
Right. Speaking of Tibbs, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna sound weird. But here recently, do y'all think Tom Thibodeau has been out coaching other high level coaches?
I would say yes.
Yes.
Yes, because I'm gonna tell you something in this game real quick, Freeze. When he switched to go to that small ball role to put Randall at the 5, that kind of messed him up a little bit. That messed him up because you used to have him, Tibbs normally want to protect the rim, use Mitch and iHeart. But then too, he also had to do it because of how some of the officiating was going. Because let's be honest, let's keep it a buck. They weren't doing it. The officiating was lacking.
Hey, hold on. Somebody got some background. Somebody got some background. Is somebody rubbing something?
Might have been Corey, but he's good for now. He just muted himself.
Okay. Go ahead, Sophie. I'm sorry.
You can say it. The officiation was trash. My bad.
Yeah, hey. It was you know what? I'm gonna just I'll just say it in French for you. It was garbage. So, and with that being said, because you got Smart, and Smart is he's a good defender. He's a hard defender, but come on, man, he was flopping more than a fish out of water, man.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, but Tibbs has been making little moves, and then if you look at it, look how he kept working it with IQ. He made the switch, a simple switch. How they were switching and putting Williams on IQ so IQ could continue to cook him. Hey, he had Williams out there looking like barbecue brisket. He kept switching and switching and switching. They couldn't run, just like they were they were rolling it to get Al Horford open. And that's on Mitch because Mitch's natural instinct is to go protect the rim. That's why Horford was getting open, but he kept making that switch to get us what we needed to overcome with all those threes.
Okay. All right. Wiz, you still there?
Yes, I am, sir.
So, Wiz, do you feel like Tom Thibodeau has been out coaching his contemporaries at a high level and during this stretch of games?
Actually, so let me, of course, full disclosure, as you could pull up all the receipts, was not a Tibbs fan, and perhaps not fully converted, but I always respected his coaching skills. I don't think Tibbs is out coaching his contemporaries or his competitors. I think Tibbs is out coaching himself from before, and all he's doing is making himself better than he was yesterday, and just working what he had. So his coaching style is, how can I make this team excel more than they did yesterday? And he's doing that, and that in fact is the way I'm trying. I wish I could live my life where I get better today than I was yesterday.
Right.
I'm better tomorrow than I am today. So without trying to beat somebody, he's simply trying to apply what he has to excel the best they can. And that's what's causing the victories, which is a way of coaching that I've never thought I always thought counterattack. Us Marines, right? We wanted to simply go, oh, okay, that's counter. Okay, let me try to counter that. Or chess playing, as you know, my brother, or martial arts.
Okay.
We counterattack rather than, you know what? Let me just do the best thing I can do and see if that's good enough. And I think that's what he's doing. Not even comparing himself or looking at what the other team to a certain extent is doing more than he goes, this team needs a little bit more of what right now? And that's all I'm thinking about. We don't know what they're doing. What do this team need? Why don't we need some scoring? Why don't we need some more defense? Let's just simply apply that. And I'm thinking the other coach. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. And he's doing it. He's doing it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
does that make sense?
Yeah, your comment does. Yeah,
Okay.
your comments, the way you phrased it, you know what I'm saying, it makes sense. Lee, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Do me a favor. Repeat that question just one more time. I want to make sure I got it in the right context.
Do you agree or disagree with what we said just now?
As far as Tom Thibodeau, I feel like Tom Thibodeau. I agree for most part, but I also believe that Tom Thibodeau has been just doing the best what he has been offered. You know what I'm saying? He's top chef, and you give him certain type of ingredients, and he can only do but what he can. So right now he's whipping up a masterpiece, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Adam?
I don't think Tibbs is out coaching other coaches. I feel like he's made adjustment on how he's been coaching. That's probably why the players has started to play better together.
Okay. All right. Dre, I'm gonna put this out there, bro, and I know it's not gonna be a favorable look, but I'm gonna say that Tibbs is out coaching his contemporaries right now. Right, and the reason why I say that is because I saw Eric Spoelstra throw everything,
Yes,
but the kitchen
Adam.
sink
Yeah,
at Tibbs on Friday night. I saw them zone up. I saw them trap out of a zone. Right. I saw them run a 5-out set with Bam Adebayo initiating.
Yes. Boston did it. Boston tried it initially. Freeze and Brooklyn. They all started that.
Right.
Trying to do that. And
I'm just saying. So
Trying to run Mitch off the court. That's why.
I saw them, and no lie, I saw Bam Adebayo at the top of the key, and this is Friday night game, right? But the question is Tom Thibodeau out coaching his contemporaries, right? I saw.
Can I answer?
I saw.
I
I was trying to get my answer out. Let me finish get my answer out, man. Of course you can answer, but I just want to finish my piece to it, right? I saw Eric Spoelstra running I guess it was a 1-4, but I consider it a 5-out because Bam Adebayo was initiating the offense from the center position. So I don't know what you call it, but what it looked like to me is that they were trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the Knicks defense, right? And the Knicks find a way to win, right? Tonight, Boston comes in for the most part fully healthy. You know what I'm saying? I know Robert Williams was out, and I know Malcolm Brogdon was out, right? But to me, that's like saying whatever, right? Right. When we beat them without Jaylen Brown, they said, well, Jaylen Brown ain't here. Then we beat them with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and now it's like, well, Robert Williams wasn't here. So I don't really care for the excuses. But what I will say though is this: Boston initially came out, shaded everybody to Randall, and Emmanuel quickly hit a three. Yeah, did y'all see that at the beginning of the game?
Yep.
Anybody see that? Like everybody was shaded, kind of looking at Randall, like with an eye on Randall, because Randall, and this is the one of the points that Wiz made, right? Randall is usually the rabbit for the Knicks. He is usually the dude that comes out to the fast start.
Yep.
Knowing this, Boston countered, or it looked as if they countered, by saying, we're not going to let Randall get off to a fast, and before they can get the word start out of their mouth, quickly already hit a three.
Hit him right in the mouth with a three. And then RJ followed up.
And Soulfinger, let me cook Soulfinger. I got you, bro. I promise. Soulfinger stealing my points. Soulfinger stealing my points. Mama, Soulfinger here stealing my points again. but
I'll put the cookies back.
Right. So I think as Knicks fans, we have to appreciate the subtleties and some adjustments, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Because we know Randall likes to start off fast. The Celtics knew that too, right? The Celtics came out ready for that. And before you know it, RJ Barrett was all over them like a cheap suit, right? And so now they have to adjust to RJ, whose game might be on. And by the time they make the adjustment to RJ, now they getting hit from multiple angles by Emmanuel Quickly and Julius Randle, right? And so for us to say or assume that the players prepared themselves for that, I think that's kind of like being disconcerting. I think that's being a Tibbs hater, because everybody knows, and every NBA player that has ever played for Tibbs says the one thing about Tibbs is Tom Thibodeau will have you prepared to play for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's
right. So that's my thing about Tibbs. Go ahead, Dre.
That's kind of where I was gonna hint at. Like maybe Tibbs lacks in-game adjustments, but coming into the game,
he's prepped.
He's prepped, and he basically drills disciplines and principles into you. So he establishes a culture. All he leaves it up to you is to execute. So like when you mentioned IQ attacking mismatches, that's no different than what RJ tries to do. No different than what Brunson tries to do. No different than what Randall tries to do. Try to force a switch, get a mismatch, and attack. It's just about the execution. Tibbs has put in that in our identity that we're not going to mince words. We're not going to be anything else. We're going to be a lot of heavy isolation. We're going to cause mismatches, and then we're going to drive and attack the paint, and then we're going to hit shooters on the kick out. That's who we are. And we've been that from the beginning of the season. The only difference is we're executing at a higher clip now. That's why we're getting the wins. Tibbs had an idea of what he wanted his team to be. We just may not have executed at all the parts of what he wanted us to be until these last 10 games or so. But as soon as he cut that rotation down, we started executing his idea of what this team should be. Now, being able to adjust on the fly for certain things, he's hit or miss with that. But no coach is perfect. And I'm wrong in some of my complaints for Tibbs probably are off base. Now looking back in retrospect, but he's a very good coach. He's a great coach.
So therefore, on that end, the question again is he out coaching the other coaches? My philosophy and my theory is, like I said, correlation is equal causation. Or I think he's out coaching himself on what he would do.
So you're saying, is it based by making that statement, you're saying the end result is not determined by that factor that I pointed out. That's what that's what Wiz is saying. What Tibbs is saying. Wiz is, that's basically what's saying is that factor is not the reason for the result. Am I accurate?
No,
Uh,
I'm saying it wasn't based on what Spoelstra was going to do, more on what Tibbs would do if he was Spoelstra. So he doesn't even about what Spoelstra was going to do. He
But
I
goes,
was gonna
but
say like
where's that? But
maybe it's like about execution more than anything
where's that?
because
Where's oh, go ahead, Trey.
because I feel like Tibbs has a blueprint and he spells it out plainly. He has a blueprint for what he thinks is going to win basketball games, and he may not deviate from it because on paper, winning the possession game, not having turnovers, getting rebounds, getting teams in foul trouble, attacking mismatches, shooting open threes. That's that's the blueprint in Tibbs' mind to success. And if you do these things, no matter what the other team is doing, you will be able to succeed. And he
yeah,
has an idea of why that works.
And Dre says pure basketball wins. So you're saying pure basketball wins. Like if
Well,
you do these fundamental basketball things right, you'll win.
yeah, which is why the Knicks are very disciplined, which is why we
Right.
do the same things in every
Don't turn the
game.
ball over. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do
Yep.
the
they have,
same thing.
have
If you watch the Knicks play from the beginning of the year to now, besides the guys that are miscast that didn't really fit, like Cam Reddish,
Right.
guys do the same things.
Thing exactly.
We
I
do
gotta
the
agree with. I
same
gotta agree
thing.
with you on that.
Our identity has not changed. The only thing that's changed is that we're executing better.
Right.
and then
Right.
here's
But
my
but but Wiz, let me before you counter, let me point out this thing though. While I think your point is not accurate.
no, I was gonna count on my
Right,
count.
no, hold on, because it's one thing at a time. We gotta do one thing at a time. One thing at a time, right? The fact that Eric Spoelstra ran a 5-out initiated by Bam Adebayo is out of Tom Thibodeau's control.
Yeah.
True. Yes.
There's nothing Tibbs can do to that but adjust. Right?
True.
That's what I was gonna say. When you said Tibbs is just working on getting better incrementally every day, I understand what you're saying, right? But Tom Thibodeau has been an NBA coach since 1989.
Yes.
I'm just saying, if it was Johnny Bryant that you said that about, I'd have been on board with you.
Okay. I think because the game is changing, teams have to change with it, and therefore requires constant improvement. However, I was going to counter my counter by saying the answer to the question actually in the end comes back to is he out coaching the other coaches? And ultimately, the answer is, in fact, yes. So my answer of no previously is being countered by me, and I'm contradicting myself right now because the way you're phrasing it, what he's doing is coaching techniques that are out coaching the other coaches, and
Right.
therefore, ultimately, yes, he's out coaching.
And to your and the thing that we have to realize too is you're saying the game is changing, right? You have to consider who is changing the game.
Mm.
Is Tom Thibodeau helping change current NBA basketball? Yes.
Yes, because that goes to something you brought up last conversation we had, Freeze. We saying is he being innovative
Right.
about what he's doing, where he's running, because he did this years before, was trying to implement it, and it really never did come all the way through. And now he's doing it's kind of like what Don Nelson was trying to do with the point forward before people wanted to really use a point forward, and he got ran out of town or saying he was crazy or whatever,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, to see something like that. And like I said, I wasn't the biggest tip supporter on how things went or whatever. And I don't say anything about minutes anymore because I had to actually go in and look at minutes distribution of who was where. And before recently, I think Randall crept up to number 17, but he was at number 20 when it came to minutes played.
Right.
Most minutes
Right.
played. He's 20.
Right.
So you can't beat him up for minutes because you got superstars. You got all these Saudi superstars playing big minutes, with the
Right.
exception of Kawhi, who's on minute restrictions, and also with Durant, who's just coming back off an injury.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm saying there. Basically, what I'm getting at is, as a Knicks fan, I think we should. I'm trying to speak to a point that may infuse some confidence in every aspect of why this Knicks team is good.
Yes.
Look at the
Facts.
coaching. Look at the
Yes.
coaching. Has the coaching improved? Yes. Right? Has an individual player improved since training camp? Yes.
Check.
Right?
Mhm.
Right? Think about it. Have they improved as units? Yes.
Check.
Right? The only thing we're missing, I would say, listen, the only thing the thing stopping us from being the 2023 NBA champs right now, the only thing this team is missing right now, the only thing stopping us from being the 2023 NBA champs is a 3-point conversion.
Yeah.
Right? Dre, if we could knock down those threes late in games, you know those threes that you and I are like, oh God, those threes.
Mhm.
If we could knock those down at about 40%.
That's a big ass, by the way.
No.
Big ass.
I'm not. No. I'm not. I didn't say 40% for the game. I
Oh,
didn't say
just down the
40% for the
stretch.
season. I
Right.
was really specific
Okay.
in the improvement. Right. I was really specific in the area of improvement. Right. I said, Dre, you remember those threes down the stretch late in the games where
hmm
when we see it, we go, oh God.
Right.
If we start knocking those down at about 40%, bro, I think the sky's the limit.
Mm.
That's it. I'm not saying go out here look like the Warriors. I'm saying when we're down by 3 and we need a 3, we shouldn't be depending on Julius Randle to create a pull-up for 3.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You feel
There
me?
you go. You
Well,
all in my head
this,
on that,
this
Freeze.
this speaks to, well, then definitely Quickly's gonna be closing out every game for that to happen.
Right. And so I understand where you're going, because when
Yeah.
Brunson comes back, because Brunson too this year, Brunson's a very good 3-point shooter.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
he's
have
like 40%.
Yeah, I didn't
Yep.
have his number in front of me. I'm going to see if I can find it, right? But this year, Brunson is a very good 3-point shooter. I'll find the number here shortly.
He's historically he's a good 3-point shooter, but he's never been on this volume or off the dribble. He's usually
Yeah.
been a catch and shoot guy, and
This
that's the
dude is
big jump in
taking-
his game.
This
He's-
is a career high for him right now.
Yeah, he's shooting 4 point. He's only taking 4.7 per game, but he's making 41.1% of those threes.
Wow.
And he's doing it as a heavy lifter. Generally, when guys shoot in the 40s from 3, they're not heavy lifters. They may be like the second, third, fourth best player on their team, where they get some looks from kickouts and such.
Catch and shoots.
Yeah, but rarely are they the guy. Like
He's
for
off the
instance,
dribble with it. He's off the dribble with it.
with the defense looking at him, with the best backcourt defender on him, right? Because right now, and again, this is no shot on the young players, but right now, Jalen Brunson draws the best backcourt defender because the other players in our backcourt are young and have not earned that cachet yet.
Right, because Marcus Smart would not even be on Randall if Brunson was playing tonight.
Bro, there is no scenario where Marcus Smart would ever guard Quentin Grimes. Right?
No,
think
Brunson
about
not
it.
there.
And that's no knock on
And
Grimes.
I
'cause
keep
y'all
making
know-
them pay for that, by the way.
Yeah, and so there should be and y'all know I have Quentin Grimes and protective glass, and I'm not breaking in case of emergency. I got
Shout out
Quentin
to Rel
Grimes
in the
being a
chat.
stud in 2025.
Glow Mavs in the chat. Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to Rel and King Kai from Glow Mavs. Hey man, their channel is excellent. If you want excellent NBA content, go check them brothers out, man. You know what I'm saying? Those are the homies. You know what I'm saying? We kind of like, you know what I'm saying, that we're linking up, man. You know what I'm saying, for stuff. Their content is fire. Go check out their merch store. You know what I'm saying? If you got somebody in your family that's a Mavs fan, you know what I'm saying, or you want to buy a gift for somebody, go check out their merch store, man. And you know what I'm saying, maybe you can find something in there to send to somebody who's a Mavericks fan. So shout out to my man. Shout out to my man Rel. Shout out to King Kai and the rest of the GLO family. But what I'm saying to you guys is this. I think the only real area of improvement, and listen, I know sometimes, you know, I get a little bit chatty, and it's not because I have a lot to say. Well, I'm lying. I do have a lot to say. But I want to say this and not sound as if I'm searching or begging for something. I'm legit talking to you as a Knicks fan. I feel like I'm looking y'all in your eyes, wherever y'all at. I feel like I'm looking y'all in your eyes, right? When I say, if the Knicks can find a way to knock down more of the threes that they take. Now, I'm not saying shoot more threes.
I'm saying knock down the ones you shoot.
Previously I said convert it. So if we can convert more of the threes that we take, I'm playing that Busta Rhymes song, This Is Dangerous. I'm playing that song for the Knicks.
We gonna get delirious.
And we gonna get delirious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Hey, that's the thing. That's the thing that we actually been missing the most is the timely buckets. Because, like as you said, Freezie, just converting. Because a lot of the shots that we do get from three are wide open because teams are keying in on Randall and Brunson because
that
three
that Miles McBride missed by 3 feet, that should never happen.
Not from a professional, no.
That should never happen, bro.
And it's like teams are selling hard to get Randall and Brunson because if you do not double Randall and Brunson, they will get 30 on you without blinking. They'll get 30 on you while you doubling.
Right. Right.
So, and you know you said on that, Dre, that man, and that's a difference on Randall's play. And the addition, and also the addition of what Brunson brings with him being that addition that brings, because now Randall can move freely instead of having to be the sole, you know, I got to get mine. Now I got to run the offense and I got to do this. Because keep in mind, since Randall's been in New York, what point guard did he have? I'll tell you, he had FP. I mean, starting with him, FP. Right. And for us to make the 4th seed with that squad we had before, all was in the bubble, and all was that, man, we made it nonetheless. And what you're saying, a lot of players didn't play, but you still got to get it. Don't keep pushing the goalposts. Now he has a point guard. And you see the difference. Some people, you know, and you know, I was worried about Brunson's size, his height. You know, that was the only thing I was a little worried about. But he went in and he handled things. He's playing like he's a 6'5" point guard. The things he brings, he's tough. You know,
right. But the part about concerns is this. When you have a concern about an issue, and the person that you are concerned with provides a solution, the concern goes away.
Yeah, it does.
Or is recessed. Let me say the concern, it doesn't go away, it's recessed. Like it's slowly moved back further and further and further. Like Stephen A. hairline. It just slowly keep going back and back and back and back and back.
You know what, Freezie? I'm a little low key salty with you right now because that is something I wish I would have used analogy wise. So just let you know for future conversations, I would be using that analogy.
Just for future references.
Future references.
Right.
Yes, we know that Stephen A.'s hairline is doing To the Real March.
Right,
So,
it's recessing. It's receding. Yeah. And so figure the point that you make about Brunson being short is the same point that I had about Brunson being short. But over the first few games, the first 20 or 30 games of the season, that concern receded as we saw more and more evidence that the height is not a major issue. It's an issue, but it's not a major issue. So we're still concerned, but not as concerned.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, it went away like like a fart in the wind. And the thing about it is as the old cliche saying goes, it's not about the size of the dog; it's about the size of the fight in the dog. And
Right.
little big man got a lot of fight. Now, granted, considering look at what he's doing at the height he is against a lot of these, he goes down to the land of the giants, and then he shakes them. That's the thing.
Right.
He's shaking him like he's Barry Sanders out there on the way his footwork.
Ooh, Barry reference. That's so great. I love that.
Right. No lie. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. The more that we see this team being who they are, the more Knicks fans appreciate who they are. Because at the beginning of the season, I think we saw this team trying to show us who they are, and we wanted them to be somebody else.
Yeah, and the other thing, other concern I had was because
big facts.
I watched Bronson when he was in Dallas and coming off. But the whole thing when you talk about putting he and Donovan together, that's when I was having concerns. I said I can roll with JB. A little concerned about the height, but I know what he can do. If you're gonna put the smaller, have both he and Donovan together, I was like, there's gonna be a lot of scoring, but defensively you can get in a situation. But it didn't work out the way we got it. But actually watching Bronson get in and see how fast that they gel. Well, actually, I was actually being put at ease the more I saw and was reading about how he and Randall were working out, playing, going in places and working out together and all like that. Even bringing Obi in tow with him. So that put
when they lost during the summertime in that exhibition.
Yeah, I wasn't even tripping about that. I wasn't tripping about it because like first of all,
Dre was concerned. Dre talked to me about it. You remember that, Dre?
Yeah.
Julius Randle is not supposed to be losing to dudes off the street, Uncle Freezie. Hey, I got you.
And then I started thinking about it. Like they're not even playing at 25% speed.
No,
they're just
no,
this
is out there. And
if they
that
were
was
to
my
go
thing
hard,
is,
if they were to go hard, they could spot them game, and they wouldn't be able to score.
And then wipe the floor. Obi could have beat them dudes by himself. You know. But ultimately, I guess what I'm getting at is it's such a great time to be a Knicks fan, and I think if we listen, the credit for this Knicks team goes, in my mind, it goes as follows. The credit for this crazy Knicks energy, for number one, goes to the fans. It goes to Nick Yak, Wilson Dang, myself, Dre, Miguel P, Soulfinger, all the Paris Duggar, Keith Turner, everybody in the chat that keeps up this crazy Knicks energy, regardless of what happens. Right? So shout out to the fans and the people that come in and keep this crazy energy up. Right? If I said your name, man, kudos to you. If I didn't say your name, man, I'm sorry. For the sake of time, I'm trying to get through a point, but y'all know what I mean. Right? The people that keep this, the 100 or so viewers that's here right now, the people that's on Twitter, the fans that go to the game, on the road and at home. We keep this crazy energy up. I think the fan base deserves the most credit, right? Now, secondly, I think the players deserve the second most amount of credit out of this, because you could see from season to season, the guys that are here are improving. Right? You could see, tonight, RJ forced it at the rim a couple times, right? But for the most part, he was kicking that ball around, and you notice he almost scored 30.
and it was quiet.
Right.
He had
And
a quiet double, really. And
right,
he was like the stabilizing piece. The
right,
kind of, it was almost like everybody else on, like RJ and IQ were both saying to him to round up. Don't worry about a big fella. We pick it up for you
right,
till
right.
you get your footing, and then you handle it.
But I would say this though. The third part of that is you got to give Tom Thibodeau credit. The players had a team only meeting earlier in the season, right? And people forget about that. And during that meeting, they went to Tibbs and said, "Hey man, yo, it's crazy because we can't get into a rhythm." And what Tom Thibodeau did with that is, instead of instituting new offenses and brand new defenses to help them get into a rhythm, he just cut the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And some people are mad about that or whatever. Look at us now. Look at me now. Like that Chris Brown song, right? And so I want to give the front office credit for making the Josh Hart move and not going out and making a crazy move. So I'm not saying that the front office don't deserve credit. I'm saying in the pecking order of things, in the grand scheme of things, man, you fans deserve everything y'all gonna get going forward. Everything. This magic carpet ride that we on, man, I hope it lasts forever. And I hope y'all enjoy every minute of it, right? Because rain, sleet, or snow, trust me, I know. I'm a YouTuber. Trust me, I know. I when man, in the morning when I come, when I get to the, I got like my private phone, my real life phone, and then I got this phone, and every time I look at this phone, messages are all over it, right? And then I check social media, multiple DMs on Instagram, multiple DMs on Twitter, right? DMs on Twitch, right? Twitch messages, right? All kind of mentions on social media, people tagging me and stuff, right? I got emails from people that email the show, pitching me something or sharing their ideas, right? It's Knicks fans that are crazy. Y'all keep this crazy energy up 24/7. It's a non-stop avalanche of Knicks energy. Right? So this positive thing that we on right now, man, y'all deserve every ounce of good vibrations that y'all get, man. And I'm excited for everyone. Even me, I'm excited for myself, man, because I'm part of it too. Right? But then the players get credit. The coach has to get credit. Because the players don't win by themselves. Every army needs a leader. Right? And the front office deserves some credit for doing stuff and not doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Dre, man, I gotta get out of here because I gotta get up early, man. I gotta get up. I gotta get up early, man.
All good. Same here.
That's all good. Me too.
Yeah, man. I gotta.
Boss.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, all I have to say to the NBA Eastern Conference is this your king? That's all I have to say to the NBA Eastern Conference. Is this your king? You roll out everybody, and all we do is tuck them away and move on to the next one. Charlotte Hornets. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me, hanging out with me, man. So everybody, listen. I've been trying to figure out some type of schedule. So what I'm gonna try to do is get the Knicks One and Drive back on schedule, probably about 9:30 ish. That's what I'm gonna try to do every day if I can find a way to finagle this desk so I can get my foot up, right? And then try to do the Knicks at Night podcast, maybe like 10:30 ish, like maybe 10:30 ish to 12:30 ish, something like that. so that we can do both. But notice I said ish. So don't hold me to it exactly. I'm still trying to figure it out. But we're trying to get back to the schedule that we've been doing. I'ma holler at y'all later, man. Y'all have a good night, man.
You
Peace,
too, Freeze.
Freeze.
Peace out,
Later,
man.
Freeze.
You later.